Mike Pence appeared on CNN, and he once again went fully scorched earth on Donald Trump, really destroying the core of what Trump stands for. Here is Pence weighing in on Putin's actions and pointing out people are looking elsewhere. People are looking elsewhere. And by the way, Trump shouldn't be looking to Putin for advice on what to do. That's the worst instinct there is.
And you alluded to this, but President Trump said again last night the U.S. had nothing to do with Israel's attack against Iran. He also said that he spoke with Russia's President, Vladimir Putin, that the two are agreeing that the conflict between Israel and Iran should end. Is that the right track, or should the U.S. be providing Israel with more weapons, the weapons that it needs to completely eradicate all of Iran's nuclear facilities and capabilities?
Well, as Vladimir Putin continues his brutal and unprovoked invasion in Ukraine using drones provided by Iran, I would say respectfully to the administration, we ought to be looking elsewhere than Vladimir Putin for advice on how to deal with this situation. We need to continue to provide Israel with the support they need. I also will say, though, I do welcome the fact that early this morning the president reiterated a statement that harkened back to 2019 in our administration. After we took out Qasem Soleimani, the president and our team made it very clear that there would be overwhelming response by the United States military if American lives were lost in any retaliation by the Iranian military. They fired rockets, as you remember, Dana. They landed at Al-Assad. They landed in the Kurdish region. There were injuries, but there were no American casualties or loss of life. And the Iranians stood down after that. But it was in that moment that the president made clear, as he did this morning, that there would be overwhelming force brought to bear on Iran if they put at risk American forces in the region, which, as you know, are in the tens of thousands.
So listen, this is Mike Pence in his convoluted, aw shuck sort of way, pointing out that Donald Trump's entire approach to foreign policy is just completely backwards. And this criticism, this isn't the first time that Pence has said things like this. And it also wasn't restricted just to foreign policy. When the topic of the pardons of the January 6th rioters, many of whom, by the way, wanted Pence dead, Pence saying that was the wrong move too.
We're out of time, but I do want to quickly ask you about something the FBI Director Kash Patel warned to LA protesters, rather. He said, hit a cop, you're going to jail. Doesn't matter where you came from. This is from a director who supported the president pardoning all the rioters, including the ones who beat up police officers who were defending the Capitol, defending you on January 6th. What did you make of that?
Well, let me say first off, I welcome the statement. It's a correct statement. We simply cannot allow or stand by while people in the midst of protests assault law enforcement officers. It's one of the reasons I thought the president was wrong to pardon people who assaulted police officers on January 6th. But look, this is a time when, we're in the wake of not only those events of 4 years ago, but we've seen political violence against Jewish peaceful protesters. We saw 2 assassination attempts against President Trump on the campaign trail. We saw the governor of Pennsylvania's home attacked, and then that despicable attack that claimed the lives of the Minnesota state representative Hortman, her husband, and injured 2 of her colleagues. Our prayers are with them, but this is a moment when we need to make it very clear that anyone who would ever use violence, whether it be against law enforcement or political violence of any kind, must be condemned universally.
So listen, you might be saying, I'm not really that curious what Mike Pence thinks about anything. I think Mike Pence is a despicable evangelical right-winger who seeks to interject his religious beliefs into civil government. And I would agree with you. But it is notable because you just never see a former vice president break from the president that he previously served in this way. And this doesn't mean that there aren't more of them. I am sure that there are more Republicans who feel the same way. I think they are cowardly in that they are unwilling to come out and just say it. And even to Pence, Pence only started saying this stuff when he was out and he had nothing left to lose and Trump had already abandoned him. But this is not normal. And if you want a real insight into the true operating MO of Trump and the way that things work behind the scenes, it's the way that Pence is now treating him.